What is up, everybody, and welcome to FLW Videos. In today's episode, I'm going to be providing you with a comprehensive guide for Zapdos Day. We have quite a bit to cover, so let's go ahead and get into the video. So why would you want to participate in Zapdos Day? There are four main reasons in my mind. The first one is a chance to catch a shiny Zapdos, which, by the way, is a 100% catch rate, so make sure you pineapple it if you do run across one. Up next, we have a Community Day exclusive move that's going to make Zapdos perform better than ever before. Up next, we have 5 free raid passes. So if you are a free-to-play player like myself, this is going to be a huge opportunity to get some in-game currency. Up next, we have double candy plus 1 extra rare candy, along with some incredible XP to go on the top of everything. So when is Zapdos Day? It actually begins July 21st, 2018. I wanted to go ahead and put up the different time zones on the screen, but be sure to check your own personal time zone from this list so you know that the exact time that the event starts. But if you want a little bit of a hint, it's actually going to be at the exact same time of any community day if you've ever participated in one before. So let's go ahead and go over some counters for Zapdos. The best counter is going to be Tyranitar, which is a Smackdown and Stone Edge. This is a Community Day exclusive move Pokemon with Smackdown, but it dominates among all of the other Pokemon. If you check the time to win, I mean, it's almost beating Rayquaza by roughly 60 seconds. But in this case, I want to go ahead and point this out. At least when we were versing Articuno, it was to the point where I was only using 1 to maybe 2 Pokemon for every raid. So that means you're going to also save a ton of revives if you try to use a little bit of a denser Pokemon. Maybe skip out on Rayquaza. I know Rayquaza is going to do a little bit better, but as you will see, it has 36 deaths versus something like a Golem that only gets 20. And it's not going to do that much worse, so I would actually recommend using Golem over Rayquaza. But that's just going to be my own personal preference. So let's go ahead and get into some information about the raids themselves. So Zapdos raids will be the only raids during Zapdos Day hours, and I have to say, it's almost to the point where all gyms are going to be Zapdos during the day, so you should be able to find a Zapdos fairly easily. Finding people, on the other hand, deserves a conversation later on. So Zapdos raids will have Tier 4 CP instead of the normal Legendary Tier 5, and with that means that the raid timer is going to drop down from 300 down to 180 seconds. This is, however, going to be optimal for getting in as many raids as possible during the 3-hour window. There is also an added bonus to this because you will still be able to pull Tier 5 item drops, so make sure to rack up on as much rare candy and TMs as you possibly can during this time window. To make things even better, you will get the 5 free raid passes during the day. Unfortunately, you will not be able to stack them. You will have to get them one by one, and for this, I do believe that you should at least try to get in 5 that day. This means free XP, free raid passes, a chance at a shiny, and it's definitely going to be worth it. So after you get done battling Zapdos, you might be curious as to what the ideal moveset is going to be for Zapdos. And it's actually going to include the new exclusive move, and that's going to be Thunder Shock and then Thunderbolt as the charge move. So with this moveset, I wanted to go ahead and give a disclaimer. It is going to make Zapdos better, but it is not going to be able to overtake the #1 spot from Raikou. So I wanted to go ahead and say that to you, that way you can spend your Stardust accordingly. If you do want to go ahead and power up your Zapdos, by all means go for it, but just know it's not going to be the #1 spot. But anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the next part. We're going to go ahead and talk a little bit about a raid strategy. So I could basically see this going 2 ways, so let's go ahead and talk about the first one, and that's going to be for a casual player. If you are a casual player, what I recommend to do is to at least try to get in the free 5 raids. And if you go in with a free raid pass already earned, you can actually do 6 battles for free. This is going to be a huge deal and something that I think is definitely going to be worth taking advantage of. For hardcore players, most do not need to hear this because they are already going to be doing it. But if you are trying to step up your game, then this is going to be for you. First things first, make sure to reach out to contact fellow trainers in your community day to do something known as a raid train. It's going to be smart to go ahead and map out the most optimal route beforehand and come in with a plan. Remember, that once the Pokemon is in the catch screen, you no longer have to stay in the area. You can go ahead and start moving towards the next gym. But please, do not leave people behind. This is extremely rude and it could end up hurting a lot of people's chances as well if you don't end up having enough people or the other group doesn't have enough people. So basically just be a decent human being. It also might be a smart idea to split up via the different teams of Mystic, Valor, and Instinct if you are trying to take advantage of the most amount of Premier Balls possible. But anyways, this is a brief guide that I came up with for Zapdos Day. If anybody else has any tips that they think is going to be important for this day, feel free to share it in the comment section below, and I will see you next time.
Hit me like a tidal wave. She's the body after shot. Hit me like a tidal